Hi! As always, I'm back exactly on the first day of the month. In December, I was reminded of a very disturbing fact. There are no penguins in the Arctic. Devastating, right? And I thought it was time to change that, so I packed all my essentials and started my journey. Hi, I'm in Norway.
That's right, it's time for another travel vlog era. Remember my former roommate Paul? After our emotional goodbye, he went to study in Norway, and some friends and I decided that visiting him was the perfect excuse for a little trip. So I bought some new winter clothes so I wouldn't freeze to death and headed out on this new adventure with friends.
Dear passengers, due to frozen mist, we can sadly not land at Oslo Airport.
The trip had a bit of a rough start because while the trip did make it out of the group chat, which is a miracle, because of the weather we were sadly struggling a bit with getting out of Oslo. So first day, airport hotel. Then the next day we got to our final destination, or at least after a 4-hour drive. Since it's only light outside for a couple hours a day, it was sadly already dark when we got to our second stay, the cabin. So sadly there was not that much to do, so we just hung out and played some games. The next morning we of course had to make good use of the daylight that we had, so we decided to climb a mountain. But then, darkness arrived. Will we make it off the mountain alive? Well, the answer is yes, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But what if I'm not here? That's right, I'm already home. It was way too cold out there, so I'm gonna tell you the rest from the warm comfort of my home. But anyways, after conquering the mountain, it was time for another 5-hour car ride to our next stay, the loft. After chilling in the hot tub for a bit, we had to make a decision on what we would do the next day. And we thought there was only one logical option: climbing another mountain. So we asked our Airbnb host for some hike recommendations, and he recommended the super easy hike up a mountain that he does with his 9-year-old daughter all the time. Well, Norwegian children must be built different because this was a lot tougher than we thought. It was a lot of walking through thick snow, and then once we got near the top, this thick snow got exchanged for an icy slip and slide. Like, it was to the point that one of my friends and I decided to not go all the way to the top because we didn't want to set the record for longest slide down the mountain. And this little bit to the top actually took the other two around an hour, so I'm actually quite glad that we just decided to admire the view while dancing to stay warm. After a very chill sauna day, it was time to start our final long car ride. Wait, what happened? You see, our private driver for this holiday was Paul. Thank you, Paul. And during this last trip, it started snowing, which meant a lot less visibility and a lot more snow on the ground. And this was absolutely no problem, until we had to stop at a gas station.
Okay, so imagine the gas station is here and the road is here, and then we entered through here. Then when it was time to leave, Paul had this genius idea of not driving like this, but instead taking a shortcut like this, which didn't work. And so we ended up stuck in a thick layer of snow until a very kind Norwegian lady came to save us.
And as it turns out, this was actually a genius move by Paul, because at the end of the car ride we got stuck again. But this time in a random field with no one around. But this was no problem, of course, because we were now experts trained by the kind Norwegian lady. And so we freed ourselves in record pace and arrived at our final destination, the villa. So we were told that the next day there would be a heavy snowstorm, so we couldn't really do anything. That snowstorm never ended up coming, so we kind of wasted the day. But that was all fine because at the end of that day, on the last evening of our trip, we got to see this. And that was the trip. I of course also did other things this month. For example, I made a new channel. And now some of you might be asking, well, why are you making a new channel? This one barely gets any views. And that is exactly the point. You see, this channel has one giant inherent flaw, which is that it's about me. The videos that I make are literally recaps of my life. And since I'm a pretty average guy, most people who are not my family or friends will not really be interested in that. And that's completely fine, of course. I mostly make these recaps for myself so I can have something to look back upon and I can get better at video editing. But that doesn't really fit in my main goal in life, which is making people happy. And so if I want to make more people happy, I will have to find a way to grow. So for now, I will use a 2-channel strategy. One recap channel, this one, and a main channel. For the recap channel, the main audience will obviously be people who are interested in me as a person, which is currently not a lot. As you might have noticed, I already uploaded some shorts on this channel, which are definitely very good for awareness and subscriber growth. But what it's not very good at is the actual conversion to more recap viewers. And this makes sense because highly infrequent short form content is of course not sufficient for creating interest in me as a person. And that is where hopefully the main channel comes in. On this channel I will upload longer form content of me trying things every month. This content will not only focus on me as a person, but also on topics that can more easily bridge the curiosity gap for potential viewers, aka better clickbait. And this bridging can already be seen very clearly in the first video that I uploaded on that channel, as it already has more views than almost all the recaps combined. So hopefully by growing the main channel I can seduce more people into becoming interested in me as a person, funneling them down into the recap channel, thus growing both channels at the same time. Of course I don't know whether this will actually work, but I want to at least try. Now, making people happy is of course not a very tangible goal, so I also need something to work towards. And this brings me to my name. Now, my name is not super common, right? Most people are called Marten with an I, but mine is spelled with an E. But currently, if you look my name up on YouTube, I don't show up at all. Even if you are subscribed to me, you won't be able to find me. And I want to change that. I want to beat this super adorable animal and this highly talented handpan player in the search engine. Or at least to the point that I also show up. That is the goal. Other than that, as always, I hung out with friends, went ice skating with my girlfriend, and celebrated the holidays with my family. And that was pretty much it. Overall rating of the month? Oh yeah!